Welcome back, trainers. So in this video, we're going to be going over all of the Gen 5 Pokemon and their moves, as well as their stats too. So I'm not going to be talking about every single one. They will be on the screen, and I will be highlighting a few. If you want to check all of these out by your own pace, I will have a link in the description so you can go ahead and do so. So starting it off with the Gen 5 starter Pokemon, let's go ahead and take a look at Superior here. So for the quick moves, it's going to have Iron Tail and Vine Whip. We're already looking good. Vine Whip is fantastic for energy gain as a grass Pokemon. As far as the damage, it's not going to be the best, but you will be able to charge those moves at an extreme rate. Taking a look at its quick moves, we do have Grass Knot, Leaf Tornado, and Aerial Ace. Now, my personal opinion, looking at this from a Great League standpoint, Superior, without its Community Day move, is already looking pretty good. Grass Knot is not a horrible charge move by any means. And then you have Leaf Tornado, which you will have status effects on that in PvP. And then Aerial Ace coverage. So Superior is already looking pretty good, especially because of Vine Whip. And when it does get, I don't know what the Community Day move is going to be for it. Let me take a wild guess here. Frenzy Plant mixed with Vine Whip is going to be a fantastic combination. Then if we move down here to Ember, that's going to be the Fire and Fighting starter Pokemon, but it's going to be starting off as a pure Fire type. Tempig. And then moving into Ember. So we do have for the quick moves, Low Kick and Ember, as far as those are concerned, not looking too hot. Not really. And then for the charge moves, we have Heat Wave, Rock Slide, and Focus Blast. So here's my advice. Don't, power up a bunch of these when Gen 5 does get released here in a couple of days. I know it's not like you're going to be able to, but some people do have rare candies waiting. And if they do perhaps find a good IV one or do a lucky trade, they'll have those. So don't put it past people to be able to power up a bunch right away. But nonetheless, you're going to want to hold off on doing these because, well, Community Day rolls around, they're going to get a better move, and then you have a bunch of these other ones sitting around. So especially if you find yourself 100 of these Gen 5 starters, keep them. For the moves on Ember, the Rock Slide's looking good, I guess. Focus Blast is decent. At least it's getting, I don't know what to say. We don't really need to worry about the fighting types, but Ember, not looking so hot, but they do have Community Day moves coming around whenever that does happen. So Samurott here, the water starter for Gen 5. Let's take a look at those quick moves. We have Fury Cutter and Waterfall. Okay, Fury Cutter can find usability as far as going up against other grass types, as well as charging up those charge moves extremely fast. Waterfall is not bad at all. It's going to be a decent water type quick move for PvP, doing a lot of damage with decent energy gain. As far as the charge moves, we have Hydro Pump, Blizzard, and then Mega Horn. Hydro Pump is okay. It's going to probably get Hydro Cannon for the Community Day move, of course. Blizzard for a bit of coverage against those possible grass types and flyings as well. And then Mega Horn to do good amount of damage up against those psychics and dark types. And, I mean, Samurott, absolutely fantastic. The attack, pretty good. It's going to be a little bit higher than the rest of the starter Pokemon, so it's going to be extremely good when it does get that Community Day move. And then you have the others here, so take a look. All right, and I'm also going to have an image here on the side. I do believe I'll throw that up, which is going to contain all the Pokemon that are actually going to use the Unova Stone to evolve, right? So you're going to have Pansage, Pansear, and Panpour, which are all going to require that. And yeah, they're not going to be the best around. As you can see, their moves, you have Bite and Vine Whip for Simisage, and then Solar Beam, Grass Knot, and Crunch. And then Simisear, you have Bite and Fire Spin, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, and Crunch. I'm not going to go over all those moves here. It's not necessary. As you can see, they will be coming in, and we'll see how good they're going to be. Musharna. Now, this one here has potential to do decent in the Great League. It's not going to be your best option, obviously, and the list has been put out by PvP Poke on how good some of these new Gen 5 Pokemon are going to be. And wow, the list has changed quite dramatically with Gen 5 rolling in. So Musharna here has Zen Headbutt and Charge Beam, Future Sight, Dazzling Gleam, and Psyshock. This could be somewhat of a good tanky option in the future. Moving down here, quite a few others looking great. Excadrill, we did go over that. So it will be outperforming Groudon as a pure ground type attacker, but you need to keep in mind that it's not going to be lasting nearly as long as Groudon is going to be in that fight, right? So it does have Metal Claw and Mud Slap. Charge moves are going to be Rock Slide, Earthquake, Drill Run, and Iron Head. So charge moves looking great. Looks like Niantic really did Gen 5 well over here. Then we have Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr, I don't know. All right, I used to call it Conkeldurr, but apparently it's Conkeldurr. All right, so if you did not watch my last video, this is actually going to be surpassing Machamp as the new best fighting type Pokemon because Niantic gave it a fantastic moveset. Thank you. Let's go. It's going to have counter and then Poison Jab as a quick move. Poison Jab, very interesting. Then for the charge moves, Dynamic Punch, Focus Blast, and then Stone Edge. So we do currently have Machamp as our #1 fighting type Pokemon until this one does enter in. And it does also have Rock Slide on the Machamp, which is a fantastic addition for coverage, even if you're dropping in a gym, or even for PvP, possibly if they throw in a flying type Pokemon, which you're going to be weak against, you'll be able to hit it with that super effective damage. Conkeldurr is actually not falling far behind as far as that coverage is concerned with Stone Edge. Yes, it's going to be taking a little bit longer to get to it, but still, you're going to have that rock coverage, which is pretty good. Then we have another Mud Boy coming in here. Water and ground type, Mud Slap, Bubble, all right, for the quick moves. And then we have Muddy Water, Earth Power, and then Sludge Bomb. I mean, max CP is going to be 2337 for this guy here, that silly toad. So we'll see how that works out. As far as these two fighting type Pokemon, I don't know how well they're not really going to, maybe for PvP. Let's just put it that way. Low Kick, Zen Headbutt, and then we have Focus Blast, Low Sweep, and then Body Slam. And then for Sock, we have Low Kick, Poison Jab, Focus Blast, Low Sweep, and then Body Slam as well. Body Slam may find some decent usability as, you know, pretty spammy. Low Kick can, I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to do too much predicting here, but some more fighting types, which is always going to be welcome on my end. Moving down the list here, a few other Pokemon to be noted. Nothing too significant here. But when we move to Germanitan, we do see that massive attack, pure fire attacker. The attack is going to be sitting at 263. It's going to have Tackle and then Fire Fang, which Fire Fang is okay, thank goodness. Then we have Overheat, Focus Blast, Psychic, and Rock Slide. So Rock Slide coverage, say in PvP match, obviously, you'll be able to hit him with that Rock Slide. Pretty nice there. And then you have Germanitan Zen mode, which is going to be gaining a significantly more amount of CP. Look at that. So the regular Germanitan goes from 3,105, and then the Zen mode is going to be going to 3,738, but the attack does drop significantly as well. It is actually going to be gaining that Psychic typing. Therefore, that Psychic move on it for the charge move is actually going to be getting Stab and helping it a little bit more, I suppose. So we'll see how all that's going to work in Pokemon Go, though. Very interesting. And then we have Crustle. This is going to be a bug and rock type Pokemon. It's pretty good in the main series games. My friend did use it quite a bit with Shell Smash. Very fantastic strategy there. So we have Fury Cutter and then Smackdown for the quick moves. For the charge moves, we have Rock Blast, X Scissor, and Rock Slide. So decent moveset on that. You're going to be able to get Stab for the charge moves as well as the quick moves as well. You don't actually have, you have Smackdown. So yeah, charge. You're going to have Stab on both ends there. Pretty good. And then Scrappy. This one is actually pretty interesting, and I already seen the ranks for the Great League when it does enter, and guess what? It's right behind Altaria as the second best Pokemon to use in the Great League for PvP. So take a look at this max EP, 2,283, attack 163. You're like, well, how? Well, I mean, it's the Great League. And it's simple as that. Look at it, almost maxes out there. Sort of. I mean, it's going significantly over 1,500, but let's take a look at these moves. Counter and Snarl for the quick moves. Counter, we already have it. And then Snarl, pretty fantastic as well. It's going to be getting Stab from both of those because it is going to be a dark and fighting type. Then if we take a look at the charge moves, we have Acid Spray, which is pretty decent. You'll be able to shield bait as well as lower the defense as well on that Pokemon. Power Up Punch, bingo, we got it. Counter, Power Up Punch, it's game over. And then you have Foul Play as well. This guy is going to be stacked. This is going to be amazing. Now, as far as maxing it out and taking it to a raid, nope, absolutely not. You do not want to use it like that. But regarding PvP, it will be pretty significant. All right, moving on here, we have Sigilyph. So this one is pretty interesting as Psychic and Flying type, so it will be able to wall those Fighting type Pokemon significantly. Unless you're a Scrappy, and you'll be able to hit it with that super effective Dark typing. Or if your Fighting type does have a Rock move. So for this one, the quick moves are going to be Air Slash and Zen Headbutt. For the charge moves, we have Air Cutter, Psybeam, Ancient Power, and Signal Beam as well. So a lot of coverage within this Pokemon, so it should be pretty interesting. Moving down the list here, we have Coffagus, which is going to be a Ghost type Pokemon, and max CP is going to be 2273. Maybe it's going to be somewhat decent in the Great League. For the charge moves, we do have Astonish and then Zed Headbutt. For the charge moves, we have Shadow Ball and Dark Pulse, and as well as Psychic. So it does have Shadow Ball, which is great. Dark Pulse, Psychic, I suppose. So we'll see how that one works out here. Now, Archeops. Oh boy, I was looking at this one. I was like, okay, well, we're going to do something, because this thing's attack is absolutely off the wall regarding its rock and flying type, because its stats are off the wall regarding its rock and flying type. So its attack is sitting at 292. So we were wondering, is it going to be the new best rock type attacker or flying type attacker? And the answer is nada, none of those. So for the quick moves, we have Steel Wing and Wing Attack. All right, so we have Wing Attack. Okay, cool. Now let's see if we have a flying charge move. Absolutely not. We have Dragon Claw, Ancient Power, and Crunch. So what's going on here with Archeops? It has this massive attack. It had potential to be the best rock or flying type, but what they did here is they didn't give it a quick rock move, as well as they did not give it a charge flying move. So you can't really, it's a little bit unbalanced there. It's still going to be decent, I suppose, but you're not going to be able to pick up either one of those stab typings and be the #1 in whatever. Rampardos is safe, as well as Tyranitar. And then moving down the list here, we have still quite a few nice Pokemon with great moves, fantastic potential. All right, and then we have Rhinoculus here, which is going to be a pure Psychic type, max CP 2,927. Very interesting. It's a pretty tanky Pokemon in the main series games. It's going to have Hidden Power and then Zen Headbutt, so that Hidden Power can be anything but Fairy and Normal. And then for the charge moves, we do have Future Sight, Shadow Ball, and Thunder. So no, I mean, yeah, it's all right. You know, Future Sight's a pretty hard-hitting move, but it's going to take you a minute to finally get there in PvP. So take note of that. It does have Shadow Ball, which is a fantastic move as well. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out there. And then we have another one I want to focus on here, Excalibur, which is going to be a Bug and Steel type, max CP 2,289, attack 223. For the quick moves, it does have Peck and Bug Bite. At least it has Bug Bite. Peck is not what I'm concerned about at all. All right, Bug Bite, though, is great. I'm thinking Great League for this thing, or Ultra League, possibly. For the charge moves, Mega Horn, X-Scissor, Drill Run, and Aerial Ace. So it's going to be weak to fire, right? Does it have anything to cover it? Not really. Drill Run, kind of. You know, it's going to be super effective to fire types, actually, so I take that back. Excalibur is looking pretty neat. Jellicent is actually going to be pretty decent. Water and Ghost type here. It's going to have a max CP of 2,338, attack 159. Great League. Think Great League for this guy here. Bubble and then Hex, both of those great for charging energy. And then for the charge moves, it has great charge moves as well. Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, and then Bubble Beam. All of which are going to be great in PvP. You know, Bubble Beam is an exception, I suppose, but Ice Beam as well as Shadow Ball, this thing is looking fantastic. And then, let's see, the defense is 178, attack, you know, we just went over that, HP 225. So it does have a bit of bulk to it regarding that HP. So can't wait to see what that is going to bring in PvP. Ferrothorn, let's go. This is going to be a Grass and Steel type, max CP 2,221. All right, attack 158. So for the quick moves, Bullet Seed and Metal Claw, looking okay. Bullet Seed is decent, gains, you know, decent amount of energy in PvP. Now let's look at the charge moves: Vine Whip, Flash Cannon, Acid Spray, and Thunder. So we have another Acid Sprayer here, which is going to be able to shield bait as well as lower the defense on those Pokemon. Power Whip, I mean, okay. Flash Cannon, it hits everything really hard. Thunder, oh, I suppose. So Ferrothorn, very interesting Pokemon. I know a lot of people are excited for this one, as well as myself. Clink Clank, absolute, just horrible. Its moves, I just went over this already when I was looking at them. So this is actually going to be one of the shinies that are going to be introduced on the 16th here in a couple of days. So for the quick moves, it's actually going to have Thundershock and Charge Beam. For the charge moves, Hybrid Beam, Flash Cannon, Zap Cannon. I mean, I guess you could say, well, I mean, it's not all bad. It has Thundershock as well as Flash Cannon and Zap Cannon. Thundershock is going to be able to charge them pretty quick, I guess, but honestly, this is not something I'm too concerned about. I'm not going to just throw it aside and never use it or nothing, but I'm not really digging those charge moves, to be honest with you. We went over Chandelure in my last video. It's going to be a Ghost and Fire type. Actually, it's going to be super fantastic as a pure Fire and Ghost type attacker. It's going to be second to Lick and Shadow Claw Gengars, and is also going to have a higher TDO, so we'll be able to last longer in that fight. For the quick moves, it does have Hex and Fire Spin. For the charge moves, it does have Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, and Overheat. So the moveset that they give it is just fantastic. Niantic, you're on a roll. Good job on giving Gen 5 Pokemon good moves. Haxorus, it's going to have Dragon Tail and Counter. So Dragon Tail is a fantastic dragon move. Counter is a fantastic fighting move. So we were discussing that'd be interesting if they gave it Counter, and what do you know? It gets Counter. So both of his quick moves are looking great. Dragon Claw, Surf, Night Slash, and Earthquake for the charge moves. Dragon Claw is going to be good for PvP. Surf as well. Night Slash, I suppose Earthquake is okay. It's a hard-hitting move. It doesn't take too long to get to it. So Haxorus is looking absolutely fantastic. This is looking great, guys. Now, unfortunately, one of my favorite fighting type Pokemon, Minshao, is not going to be getting too much love here. It could have been the #1 fighting type attacker if it did receive the correct moveset. A very big glass cannon, so you would have needed like 4 or 5 of them to, like, you know, outperform Conkeldurr and Machamp and stuff like that. But its attack is sitting at 258, max CP 2710. So it does have, for the quick moves, Low Kick and Poison Jab. Again with the Poison Jab. Low Kick is a horrible quick move, so unfortunately no go here. For the charge moves, we have Brick Break, Grass Knot, and Stone Edge. So it does have coverage against its weakness, flying types, and then Brick Break can be pretty spammy in PvP. Grass Knot for a bit of random coverage, I suppose. So that one's alright, I guess. Unfortunately, does not have the best fighting type moveset. Manda Buzz, let's go. This one right here. Now, if you're not able to get yourself an Umbreon in the Great League with Last Resort, here we're going to have a better, well, I wouldn't say a better option. Well, actually, yes, a little bit better. Manda Buzz, it's going to be pretty good. Dark and Flying type. Max CP 2138, attack 129. Okay. For the quick moves, we have Snarl and Air Slash. For the charge moves, we do have Dark Pulse, Sky Attack, Foul Play, and Shadow Ball. Those movesets, this thing is loaded. It's absolutely loaded. You're going to want this and definitely have it on your roster in PvP for sure. As far as going up against gyms and raids, not so much. Absolutely not. But still, from that PvP perspective, it is looking fantastic. My bug Durant, which is going to be a bug in Steel type. Max CP 2659, attack 217. It's going to be falling short of being the best bug type attacker, unfortunately, but still could be fun for me to use as a unique bug type or steel user. For the quick moves, we do have Bug Bite and Metal Claw, looking great so far. For the charge moves, X Scissor, Iron Head, and Stone Edge. So there we go, pretty neat. Hydreigon. Now this one right here is actually going to be a better dark type attacker than Tyranitar. So it's going to be probably pretty rare as well. And also take note, if you do go ahead and click that link in the description and check out this site yourself, and you tap on any of these Pokemon, it will tell you how many candies it will take to evolve each one into their stages. And we're going to go ahead and look at Larvesta here in just a moment, because that's actually going to take 400 candies to evolve into Volcarona. So focusing back onto Hydreigon here with Bite and Dragon Breath on its quick moves. Bite is a pretty good... all right, here. The thing about Bite is it doesn't have great energy gain for PvP, okay? But at least it's going to be doing massive damage as a dark type attacker. It's going to get stabbed, so it's going to be pretty good for it. Dragon Breath, yet again, another great move for PvP. So this is going to be a cool Pokemon to actually have on your roster for sure. As far as the Great League, I don't know if it's going to be performing too well there. It's kind of like bringing in Dragonite. You know, it does have decent moves, but even if you can get a Legacy Dragonite into the Great League, but it's so CP heavy that it's not going to really be performing as good as it should, but possibly in the Ultra or Master League. But Hydreigon is going to be more from a PvE, going up against raids in Gym's perspective, kind of Pokemon that you're going to want to have. So for the quick moves, Bite and Dragon Breath, fantastic. Charge moves, Dragon Pulse, Dark Pulse, and Flash Cannon. This thing is also loaded. Wow, that is awesome. Moving on to Larvesta here, Bug and Fire type. So it does have Fire Spin and Bug Bite for the quick moves. We're already set. we're already set for its specific types that it does have. Those are pretty much the best moves that you can have for the quick moves. And then for the charged moves, we have Overheat, Bug Buzz, Solar Beam, and then Hurricane. This thing is just perfect. Absolutely perfect. So if we click on it, let's look. It's actually going to say 400 candies there. So it's going to be one of those Pokemon, right? So save your rare candies. Let's go. If you get a good IV one of these, you're definitely going to want it for sure. All right, then moving on to the legendaries here, we have Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion, the Pokemon that are trying to be Digimon within their names, right? So for the movesets for Cobalion, it's going to have Metal Claw, Zen Headbutt. For the charge moves, Close Combat, Iron Head, and Stone Edge. For Terrakion, Smackdown, and Zen Headbutt. For the charge moves, Close Combat, Earthquake, and Rock Slide. So if you're wondering, well, what about Terrakion? Where did that land as far as the fighting type user? It's okay, but it's not the best. Smackdown and Close Combat, nope. That's not the moves that it wants to be the best fighting type. Not horrible, but not the best. Its movesets are great, though. That's for sure. Definitely not trying to down talk on this one. And out of the trio here of these three legendaries, I'm going to say Terrakion is going to be probably one of the best. Then we have Virizion, Grass and Fighting type, which is going to have Quick Attack and Zen Headbutt. For the charge moves, Close Combat, Leaf Blade, and Stone Edge. Then we have Thundurus, and that's going to be Bite and Air Slash, Grass Knot, Dark Pulse, Hyper Beam, and Hurricane. And then Thundurus, when this other form here, that's going to be Bite and Air Slash, Grass Knot, Dark Pulse, Hyper Beam, and Hurricane. Same movesets. Thundurus, first form, it's going to have Astonish and Thunder Shock. For the charge move, it's going to have Crunch, Thunder, Brick Break, and Thunder Punch. So Thunder Shock, fantastic. It is going to be coming in the top for that electric type attacker, and it's going to be pretty good. We'll see. We need to get more information here as everything rolls out. And then we have its secondary, same moveset, Thunder Shock, and then we have Thunder Punch and Thunder, so that's going to be serving it quite well. Reshiram, it's going to be a Dragon and Fire type legendary here. The moves are going to be Dragon Breath and Fire Fang. Dragon Breath, all right, let's go. Crunch, Overheat, Draco Meteor, and Stone Edge. Zekrom, moves, Dragon Breath, Charge Beam, Outrage. For the charge moves, Wild Charge, Flash Cannon, and Crunch. So it's looking all right. Landorus, normal form, Mud Slap, and Rock Throw. And then for the charge moves, we have Earth Power, Outrage, Rock Slide, and Focus Blast. And then for its alternative form, we have the same moves and higher attack. So that is actually going to be one of the best ground type attackers in Pokemon Go for sure. Absolutely looking fantastic. And then we have Kyurem in its normal form with Dragon Breath and Steel Wing. And it's going to have Dragon Claw, Blizzard, Icy Wind, and then Draco Meteor. Kyurem Black and Kyurem White. Now these are going to be pretty interesting because we still need that nerf because the CP is way too high. 4,605 on both of them. So both their stats are going to be the same. They're going to have different moves though. For Kyurem Black, it's going to have, for the quick moves, Dragon Tail and Shadow Claw. For the charge moves, Iron Head, Blizzard, Stone Edge, and Outrage. For Kyurem White, it's going to have Dragon Breath and Steel Wing. For the charge moves, Dragon Breath, Blizzard, Ancient Power, and Focus Blast. So, pretty interesting stuff. We'll see. Doesn't really matter what moves they get as long as they have a Dragon or Ice type for the quick moves, which they don't have an Ice type, only for the charge moves, but they have that Dragon Tail as well as that, let's see, Outrage, and then we have for the other one, Dragon Pulse. So with that massive attack, they're still going to be doing fine no matter what they get. Then for Keldeo, we have Poison Jab and Low Kick here. This is going to be a pretty interesting, cute little Pokemon here. It is going to be a Water and Fighting type, so it's not, Low Kick yet again, unfortunately. Aqua Jet, Close Combat, Hydro Pump, and Exeter for the charge moves. And then it does have an alternate form, and all of its stats are going to be the same, it looks like, so nothing really changing here, as well as the movesets maintaining the same. Meloetta is going to have, this is interesting, it's a Psychic and Normal type, max CP 3,972, TAC 250. For the moves, it's going to have Quick Attack, which it will get stabbed, but it's not going to be super effective to anything. And then Confusion, very nice. And then for the charge moves, Psyshock, wow, so that's pretty good. Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, and Hyper Beam. So this one does have potential to be fairly well. Meloetta's other form here, which is going to be Normal and Fighting type, and the stats do change. From the other form is going to be 250 attack. Now this one's going to be 269, and as well as all the other stats are changing too. For this one, it's going to have quick attack and the low kick, close combat, fire punch, ice punch, and hyper beam for the charge move. So as far as the fighting type perspective, it's not going to be pulling up on top for the number 1, number 2 fighting type, but it's still going to be decent and not a horrible option. Then we have Ginsect with all of its different forms here. I'm not going to go too much over that. We'll go over its movesets: Metal Claw, Fury Cutter, X-Scissor, Magnet Bomb, and Hyper Beam. And that's going to be, there's going to be different movesets for all the other ones. So it looks like we have Zap Cannon for one, Flamethrower for the other, Ice Beam, and then Gung Shot. So take note of that. So there you go, trainers. Just wanted to bring you this really quick here. All of the moves for the Gen 5 Pokemon. Which ones are going to be your favorite and are you going to be most excited for? Personally, for me, Volcarona is probably going to be my top 5 that I'm extremely excited to get my hands on and power up and all that. Chandelure as well. And Ferrothorn, another one that's going to be interesting. Excalibur, Minshao, and where did you go? Conkeldurr. Scrappy is another Pokemon that I'm going to be pretty excited to use as well. So Gen 5, guys, is looking good. Niantic really did these Pokemon well, especially Conkeldurr. Wow, pulling up as that number 1 fighting type with more DPS and TDO than Machamp. Excadrill is going to be looking pretty good, as well as many others in here that have potential to do fantastic within PvP. So thank you for watching, trainers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. But before we go, one last one, Victini. What about Victini? That was the number 1. I didn't even go over it. And no, we're not going to get that right away. Maybe. Who knows what Niantic might do. So this one here is going to be a Psychic and Fire type mythical Pokemon. It's going to have an attack of 210, max CP 3,265, Confusion and Quick Attack for the quick moves. For the charge moves, Overheat, Focus Blast, and Psychic. There you go. Pretty interesting. So now with that said, trainers, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And I'll be catching you all next time with more Pokemon Go news. I'll catch you all next time. Take care.